Hi, I'm Faye. I'm a biomagnetism practitioner and the founder of the School of Biomagnetism and Bioenergetics. Welcome to this introduction to biomagnetism. Before we start, I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about myself and my own personal health journey. It started for me in my early 20s when I started to suffer from fatigue and back pain. It took me a long time to realise that actually what was happening was that I had chronic kidney infections. Once I did find out, I was really pleased and I went through all the normal treatment methods, both conventional using antibiotics and all of those things for many years, but also anything else alternative that I could think to try. Supplements, nutrition, homeopathy, all sorts of different things. But actually what I found was nothing helped at all. And in actual fact, my health just kept deteriorating. And on top of the existing symptoms, I also then developed anxiety, IBS, multiple food sensitivities, and acne. And so I was really desperate to find a solution and stop my health from spiraling in the wrong direction. I was really lucky to come across biomagnetism because actually within a few weeks of finding it and finding a good practitioner, my health totally turned around. So within 2 weeks, my kidney infections had cleared. Within 4 weeks, the IBS was gone. And then within about 6 weeks, the acne had settled down too. So I knew that it was kind of a real turning point in my life, not just in terms of my health, but I left my job in London. I went to Miami, I did all my training, and now I have been a full-time practitioner for the last 7 years. Using magnets for healing is something that's been around for centuries, but in the way that we know it now, it's a relatively new practice that originated coming up for 40 years ago now. Biomagnetic pair therapy was developed by the Mexican doctor, Dr. Isaac Duran. He discovered biomagnetism after working with another doctor named Dr. Brongmeyer. Dr. Brongmeyer was really researching the effect of magnets on the body, particularly the differential effect of the negative pole of the magnet and the positive pole of the magnet. Dr. Goyes took this one step further and experimented with placing both the positive and the negative magnet on the body at the same time, and found that this is really where the magic lies, in using both poles of the magnet to be able to bring it back into balance at the most fundamental level. So how does biomagnetism work? Well, all a magnet essentially is a very ordered charge with all of the negative charge lined up on one side and all of the positive charge lined up on the other. By placing these magnets on the body, we can affect the charge in those areas. This is really important for a couple of different reasons. One is that it can affect the movement of ions. Now, all an ion is a charged particle, so it's an atom or molecule that's either lost or gained an electron to be positively or negatively charged. Ion channel drugs are actually the largest category of medical drugs that are used, and while biomagnetism doesn't replace conventional medicine, it works on that similar theory of controlling the flow of ions over cell membranes. The other reason that the charge and ions are so important in the body is because of the hydrogen ion. Now, the hydrogen ion is what dictates if something's acidic or alkaline. pH literally just means potential for hydrogen, and hydrogen is a charged ion. So if we can change the charge in a particular area, we can change its potential to take on hydrogen and therefore balance the pH. This is super important in the body because all of the systems of the body all work within quite a precise biochemical and pH environment. So by stabilizing that with the magnets, it allows the body to heal and allows the body to regain balance and do all of the processes that it knows how to do to be able to regain health. So essentially with the magnets, what we're doing is bringing everything back into balance and removing any blocks that there might be for your body naturally coming back into a state of health. One of the things that's really unique and powerful about biomagnetism is the use of muscle testing to work out exactly where the magnets need to go on the body. So in a session, you'll lay on a treatment bed and your practitioner will check for the pairs in your body and check the length of your legs. When the magnet goes onto a point that is out of balance, your body will respond by showing a stress response. The stress response that we look for is called right hemibody shortening. And what happens is the whole right side of your body has a micro contraction, and that's an autonomic physiological withdrawal response. It's totally unconscious, and most of the time that you won't feel it. But what happens is there's a slight contraction on the right side of the body. Your practitioner can see this by comparing the length of your legs. So if ever you've seen a biomagnetism therapist at work, you'll see that they sit at the feet and they're consistently picking up or shaking the feet. What they're looking for is a muscular contraction, and that shows that that point is out of balance. Once we've found that point that's out of balance, that's where the black magnet will stay, and then it's important to get the red magnet onto the body to bring everything back into balance again. And that's why we call it biomagnetic pair therapy, because there's always two magnets on the body. Now, once all of your magnets are in place, they need to stay on the body. How long they stay on the body is dependent on how close you are to the equator. Here in the UK, they're on for about 25 minutes, and then all of the magnets will be taken off and you'll be free to go. Now, what I get asked a lot is what to expect after a biomagnetism session. Now, this is different for everyone, but as a general rule, I like to say that you should stay curious, because actually sometimes the things that you feel the shifts in aren't always the most obvious things. For example, you might come to me for digestive symptoms, but the first thing that you notice is that your skin is clearer. Or you might come to me for pain, but actually realise that the first thing to shift is an underlying headache that you hadn't even told me about. So rather than focusing on really specific things, I like to say to just stay curious and see how you feel. Now, it is possible after a biomagnetism appointment to experience a detox type response. Some people call this a Herx response or a healing crisis. But what's happening is the body is going through a detox, and sometimes that can make you feel a bit groggy, sometimes it can give you a headache or make your symptoms flare, but that should only ever last for 24 to 48 hours. And the important thing is to stay really well hydrated after an appointment, and hopefully those symptoms will pass soon, and then you'll start to feel some of the positive benefits of biomagnetism. If you'd like to continue learning about biomagnetism, then you can follow me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is biomagnetism with Faye, all one word, no space. And the School of Biomagnetism and Bioenergetics is biomagnetism.school.